Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. It's a wonderful Thursday, and I'm so glad to have the opportunity to talk with you again. I want to talk with you this morning about making a shift so that you can shine. So if to make it real simple, shift to shine. Shift to shine. I started off the year with a mindset of shifting. I realized that for me to make some changes, for me to get to where I want to be, I have to shift. And I shared a message with our congregation about going through a season of shifting. I think the message was the shifting season, where Moses told the children of Israel that they had dwelt in the mountain long enough, and it was time for them to break camp and make their way into the promised land. Sometimes we're in a place so long that we become comfortable, and Moses had to tell the people, it's time for you to make a move. So I want to do the same thing this morning. I want to tell you it's time for you to shift so that you can shine. So move in the direction where you can shine. And David comes to mind. Yes, King David. I talk about him a lot because his life is so inspirational. His life has really inspired me in so many ways. And I just continue to pull from his story and share with others around me so that they can be inspired, they can be uplifted, and they can be empowered. David was the person that God used to do great things in Israel. And God wants to use you to do great things in this life. But you have to be ready to shift at the right time so that you can shine. I believe that there's something deep down inside of you that God wants to use to be a blessing to others. And for you to get to that place, for you to shine, you have to make a shift. David spent most of his life in the background. He was in the backside of life, where he was never the one that was in the forefront. He was keeping the sheep, tending to the sheep, while his brothers were out in the out front being recognized. And he, while in that state, began to work on some things because in his heart he knew that one day he would have to shine. So the moment came. The Bible said that his father gave him some food to take to his brothers. His brothers were soldiers. David wasn't even considered to be a soldier. He wasn't even considered good enough to serve in the army of Israel. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that for a moment. We sometimes find ourselves in positions where people do not validate us. People do not esteem us. People do not exalt us. And we allow that to hold us back. We allow that to keep us in the background because we want people's approval so bad. We want the hoo-ha party. We want people to affirm us. We want people to put us on a pedestal before we can shine. But the reality is you have to shine where you are. You have to shine in private before you can shine in public. Because no matter how good you are, time will test you. And if you don't have the goods, you're going to be exposed. So work on shining in the location, in the place, wherever you are right now, whatever situation you are. Don't forget to shine, because the moment will come where you'll be called upon. And if you're not ready, you'll miss the opportunity. You'll miss the chance to shift so that you can shine. So David, he got some food. His dad said, listen, take this to your brothers. They are serving in the army. He goes up to give his brothers the food, and they started making a mockery of him. They start criticizing him. They start judging him. Say, man, why are you here? You don't have anything better to do. You just came to see what the fight was all about. Man, you don't qualify to be here. And David didn't let that bother him. So the scenario was, there was a giant. His name was Goliath, and he came up against Israel. He came up against the fight against God's people. And no one wanted to take on this giant. But David said, this is my moment, and I'm going to seize this opportunity. David said, I will fight this giant. And they were astonished. They said, man, you're out of your mind. You don't have what it takes. You don't have the goods. You're not able to deliver. But David said, I can do this. I believe in myself enough so that I can do this. So when people around you don't believe in you, when people around you don't credit you, when people don't give you what's due to you, you have to believe in you. You have to believe that you have the goods so that you can shine. So David was brought before the king. They said, listen, this little guy out here, he's talking crazy. He wants to go out. He wants to fight this giant. And the king said, man, what experience do you have? He said, listen, oh king, I've been fighting all my life. I just didn't show up to this battle. I've been fighting all my life. I had to fight lions and bears to protect the sheep. So I know what it is to fight. I'm here to let my light shine. I'm here to give what's inside of me to the whole world so that they can see what I have. David had to move from a place where he was used to yielding and giving up the right away. And sometimes we live our lives behind the yield sign. Do you hear me? You live your life behind the yield sign. You give up your right away. You let everybody else pass you, and you stand behind the yield sign, because what the yield sign says, give up the right of way. And you allow people to pass you by. And all you're doing, you're sitting on the sideline of life, watching other people live their dreams. Well, I want to tell you, it's time to get up. It's time to move from behind the yield sign and move out to the forefront. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to make that shift. You've been in first gear too long and you're going 20 miles per hour. If you've ever driven a manual transmission vehicle, you'll understand what I'm saying. You're in first, and then you got to go up to second gear, and you're doing about 25 miles per hour, and then you want to go a little faster. You got to go up to third gear. You have to shift. And if your life is not going in the direction that it's going in, you're in control. No one else is in control. David had to take control of the situation and say, it's my time to shine. So he made a shift. He put on his armor and he went out there. He said, well, this armor don't feel good. I'm going to do what's natural to me. Folks, listen. We live in a world where people want us to fit in different categories and different boxes, and they set rules and say you have to do it this way. But sometimes it's truly not you, and you're trying to go against the core of who you are. You're trying to fit in and you're trying to do it their way. But listen, the light that you have, it's yours. It's your light. No one can shine the way that you can shine. Don't compare yourself to everybody else. The armies of Israel, they had armors and shield and spear and sword. And David said, I don't need all that. I come to bring to the table what I know that I can use. He used a stone and a sling. He kept it simple. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Keep it simple. Stop trying to over-engineer things. Stop trying to go so lofty, so big. Stick with what you know and do what you know that you can do. I was telling someone that when it comes to cake, and I use food as a reference sometimes. I'm a foodie, yes. I try to keep it healthy, but at the end of the day, I love food. I said sometimes I see some cake and they're large, they're big, they're pretty. And if you ever been to some venues, whether it's a party, a reception, whatever it is, they have these large cakes, and sometimes they're decorated real nice and like, wow, I wish I could do something like that, because you have a passion to bake. But where you are right now, you can only do a cupcake. Don't laugh. I know you want to laugh. I know you want to laugh, but don't laugh. Just listen to me out. All you can do right now is a cupcake. And you're looking at this big, gigantic 3, 4, 5, 6 tier cake, and you're like, mine is not that elaborate. Mine is not that lavish. But it's not about the lavish. It's not about the elaborate. It's about doing what you can do. Because not everybody's into the big, grand, lofty. Some people just want a small bite, something small. I can taste all the flavors and I'm good. So you put yourself in a closet. You put yourself in the back because you saw something that intimidated you. Listen, you cannot be intimidated by opportunity. Don't let opportunity intimidate you. Sometimes we think we're ready, and as soon as the opportunity presents itself, we go into hiding. We step back in the background. You got to come to the forefront. Bring out your little cupcake and say, this is my best. And I guarantee you, people will love what you have because it's yours. It's your light. I'm going to close out with this. Jesus says, what's the purpose if you're going to light a candle and cover it up? He says, no, remove the covering and shine. Let your light so shine before men. So what I want to tell you, it's time for you to shift so that you can shine. This is your moment. There will not be another moment like this. Martin Luther King talked about the urgency of now, striking while the iron is hot. You got to get out there. You got to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. You keep waiting for somebody to discover you. No, you got to go out and shine. You got to say, I've been in the back long enough. It's time for me to step out. You've been a backup long enough. You've been an assistant long enough. It's time for you to step out and say, this is my moment. I'm going to shine. Not everybody will sound the same. Not everybody looks the same. Not everybody has the same gift. But the truth is, we all have something unique that God wants to use to change lives. So you have to shine. Go out and change lives. Shine. Just be you and let the world see what you're bringing. But first, you have to shift so you can shine. Move from the back to the front. Shift from the back to the front so that your light can shine. Have a great Thursday, and I hope that this really encourages you and bless you, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.